Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Subramaniam Maslamani. I am a Tamil. Season's greetings to all of you, to your family, to your friends, and the loved ones. Today, my topic is fighting for freedom. We are not fighting the people. We are fighting for the freedom of the people. People are the same everywhere in the world, except in the content of their character and the content of their mind. It's in understanding the content of their mind and character that we can understand their behavior and hence their character. Let us reach out and understand before we are understood. Quoted by Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Here is my take on freedom. Total and absolute freedom allows the right man to get elected. A man who can do the right things and take the nation in the right direction. I imagine and view the world as one solid spherical electrical power outlet on which are plugged in 7 billion light bulbs of different color, content, character, capabilities, configuration, illumination, and scintillation. Every one of the 7 billion human beings is a shining bulb on the surface of Mother Earth. That I wrote it. I consider and treat each individual life being as an intelligent power center. We are altogether definitely better than one of us alone. The era of one-man leadership has undergone evolution and metamorphosis. And we are at the gateway to team leadership. The world has become and grown too complex for one man or two men or a team of few men to manage and lead. It is simply too complex. The best leadership is no leadership at all. Everyone becomes their own leader. I was born in a less educated family where my father could not write or read his mother tongue. My mother was a little bit better educated. She could write a few words in Tamil. But within 50 years, I have become a man who can speak, write and read and communicate in 3 languages. That is incredible. Now, I lead myself getting clues and cues from others and from my experience. I have created for myself a wonderful family and I help my associates to excel in their families too. My mission in life is to help people discover their own life potential. People build homes, people build factories, people build roads and bridges, but I build people one person at a time. How do I do it? I teach them to be free and tell them to take life as a gift of an irrevocable period of time. Time is the most important aspect of our life. and once it is gone, it's gone forever. As late Steve Jobs, the chairman of Apple Computer Corporation, said, "One day we all will be dead." That death is the biggest motivator to be creative and to leave the wonderful world we inherited from our foreparents in a better form and shape for the generations to come. We individually and as a composite group can change the world, and we are indeed succeeding in it. We don't need to be Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King. We can all do wonders in our own way. If every one of us was told at the beginning of our life that we are a biological clock with our lifespan ticking away in the descending order, second by second, what would have been our life so far? We would not have made any enemies. We would not have never wasted our time, and we would have made the world a better place. How wonderful a clock like this would have been to Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa of Sri Lanka, a tyrant who not only wasted his life but took away the life of tens of thousands of people, and he still refuses to learn but continues his folly. I sometimes wonder, who created him? What was the purpose of his presence in this life, in this planet Earth? Did you get it, folks? Why is God so bad in putting bad apples among good apples? What we are fighting is not people. We are fighting injustice, ignorance, inability, inferiority, insensitivity, incapability, and self-interest of people who take over the power of the people. It is the nature of the beast we are fighting. Its inherent nature to be a parasite, a predator on its own kind. Every battle has to be fought, every battle has to be won, and every son of a bitch has to be tamed. There is nothing called giving up or surrendering, because the world is full of timid and cunning human animals among us that live by the rule of the jungle. We see that in the resolve and mindset of the Sri Lankan struggle. They refuse to accept and allow fairness and justice to prevail. We are not defeating people, but a mindset of primitiveness, cunningness, timidity, ignorance, indifference, stupidity, and illiteracy. We are fighting for a new system of living by equality, however much we may differ in our capacity and capabilities. It is to accept the diversity within us as strength and to harness all those diverse powers to make this world a better place to live. We need something more than religion, governments, philosophies to manage a world that is unfolding, emerging, and demanding better management of the resources, living and otherwise. When freedom, democracy, equality, and dignity are threatened, we have to wage a campaign to subdue the beast. We had to discipline and educate this human beast to be part of the civil society. It's an ongoing battle. It's a work in progress. and a work in process. Democracy is the sole responsibility of the people. When we create a monster called government, which is larger than us and more powerful than us, we better keep it under control. Otherwise, it will control us. But manage well is the best form of self-preservation. Democracy is not for everyone. It needs a competent and vigilant population. Freedom was, once upon a time, a limited edition only available to some people in selected countries. But we have come a long way. We have the books and newspapers. We have the radios and television. We have the internet and computers. We have the social media and satellites, flying and defying international artificial boundaries and permeating all parts of the world from North Pole to South Pole, from east to west and everywhere. Governments have become ineffective and insufficient to deal with natural tsunamis to human tsunamis, as happening in the Middle East. The governments have become a haven for corrupt officials whose only job is to take from the working haves and give to the lazy have-nots. There are plenty of opportunities, but to the politician that is too much of work, that takes too long a time period. Nation building is not in their mind, but how to get elected next time is their mission. That is all it is to government. There is only one simple and one single way to make people to belong to a nation of people. That is total freedom. No man wants to leave a domain where he feels comfortable, secure, free, and opportunity to further his God-given natural talents. Where did I learn these basic tenets of human nature? Right here in my own home. As a father, I never said a word of instruction to my children. My wife showered them with love and affection. 30 years later, I saw the results. Two fantastic Canadian citizens. No free man will ever think of leaving an association or resorting to violence. When a country is fair and free people want to join, when a country is fair and free, people want to join, they don't want to leave. Why do people want to come to Europe and America? Think about it for a moment. Some people who complain about America must look for another planet, not for another country. On Mother Earth, there's no other country like America. Freedom is a simple art of maintaining almost absolute integrity. Children cannot be taught, but they learn from us fast, and all of what we are, they are. All of what we are, they are. Think about it. Humans are children too. We are children of Mother Nature. Adults behave almost like children, and sometimes not so great as children. People are also endowed with some great qualities such as trust, honesty, integrity, compassion, kindness, understanding, hope, faith, love, etc. All teachings and all religions preach us to practice these values. These values are the pillars of any prosperous and great societies. Then on the other side of the spectrum are fear, greed, envy, jealousy, avarice, ambition, hatred, anger, inferiority, etc. Of all the negative qualities, it's the fear that is the cause of all struggles among human beings. It's the fear that drives us to be aggressive and make us feel insecure. Recognize that as one of the physically weaker form of living things, we have formulated and invented various systems to live as communities. This is where the world is today. Can we live as a uniform community with diversity in gender, age, physical size, mental development, etc.? This is a struggle we are facing today all over the world. This is where then the world today is. It is for us to find ways to take it further. The world has advanced so far that we cannot hope to live well without cooperation. To cooperate without losing our responsibility, we owe to ourselves. That is the crux of the struggle, and finding the answer is the key for the years to come. It is not easy for man to surrender his natural abilities and strengths to a common agenda and live within it artificially. This difficulty has been solved by a concept called social contract, whereby we all agree to certain conditions called covenants. A collection of covenants is called a social contract, and a constitution of the nation, or a constitution of the nation. What we need is a new world disorder, not order. That is what is taking place all over the world today, and surprisingly, Nostradamus predicted this in the 14th century. A disorder that will remake the mosaic of the world. As it is imbued too much into race, religion, language, class, caste, etc. This segregation is causing strife for people who tend to identify themselves as belonging to something. But we must give credence to what we can change and what we cannot change. We cannot change nature, climate, and landscape. Let us give respect to nature-based diversities, not differences. Do not confuse diversities with differences. They are the same elements, but different perspective. We are advanced enough to be more pragmatic and understanding. The power of the king through the gun, the power of the king through the gun, the power of the priest through superstition or religion, and power of the banker through the credit must go. These are controlling systems. The effect of nature is very profound. It can still instill in people new theories and concepts that can be useful in other regions too. So let us look at people differently. Let us look at them as product of the nature, nurtured by nature, and let us accept everyone as a divine gift. It's in accepting every individual as a unique gift of nature that we are going to make this world a better place to live. But it is the duty of the elders in the community to nurture it into the minds of the younger generation. Sri Lanka, where I was born and brought up, is always in my mind, and wonder how we could bring about a change of thinking from one of hatred, violence, abuse of living people, and killing living people to one based on respect, dignity, and esteem. I do not know what curse has descended on this nation and how long it will last. Humans are unlike animals. Animals do not do anything that is harmful to their own kind. But man can create his own poison such as narcotics, hallucinogens, intoxicants, etc. We are a mixture of all animals, and also we have the computing and configuring capacity. So let us put that to the disciplined use. Religions and governments can play a huge role in it. But it is the family and the parents that have to play the important role. As a businessman, my first priority is my associates and their immediate families. That is my main focus. Profits are a need, but that is a byproduct. The main product is people and their development progress. People are smart and they can smell the motive instinctively, and they know the motive of the management. I wish General Motors knew that. We must harness the power of all of us instead of infusing them with our command and control. It worked then, but it does not work anymore, for there are better systems in play these days making better products and better services. People are not the same people 50 years ago. People are free today. People are educated. They are informed thanks to the internet and social media. The only motive of profit is a need, but is now only a tiny portion of that need. Businesses and enterprises may not survive without a profit, but profit is the outcome of a well-organized, people-recognized enterprise. The money as the only motivator is insufficient. I have seen businesses fold when the balance sheet caves in, whereas people-oriented businesses, they survive. Why are some nations at an advantageous position and advancing very fast, such as countries like Norway, Sweden, Canada, and Singapore, etc., while countries like Somalia, Sri Lanka, Cuba, Rwanda, Zimbabwe languishing behind? I was born in Sri Lanka and moved away since 1970 due to their inability to manage their own nation. A glimpse of the Sri Lankan panorama and Panavision will be an eye-opener to the rest of the world. It's an expensive experiment and an experience from which the world can learn a lot and benefit. The island is a fantastic country. That would have been the pearl of the world, or at least the Indian Ocean. Now it's an eyesore of the Indian Ocean. The nation consists of two distinct people. They call themselves Tamils in the north and Sinhalese in the south. They divided themselves along the caste, religion, and language fisher lines. All three have nothing to do with humans and humanness. These are not internal or natural lines of division. These are artificial divisions as identified by people and imposed by people. These are unsustainable lines of diversification. None of these confer or offer any distinct advantage of one over the other. It can only lead to strife and struggle, and they did. So to say this, Tamils are basically people of invention, innovations, industry, and involvement. Due to the sandy nature of the soil, saline nature of the water, and arid nature of the weather, they had to be proactively industrious, innovative, and indulgent. There's no other choice. This over the years have acted as a natural selection factor. There is seldom any room or leeway for procrastination, postponement, or pretension. Life has thus become a time-controlled, perfectly executed event. Everything has to work well, and everything has to be managed and controlled well. I lived it. Now I live in the opposite world of rich soil, plenty of fresh water, and fantastic climate, and a wonderful government. That's Canada I am talking about. The so-called Sinhalese in the south have plenty of water, fresh water, rich, dark soil, and cool, nice climate. Best combination for high level of productivity and prosperity. But the people were misdirected. Like the Argentinians, they just live off the bounties of Mother Nature and the foreign grants, aids, and handouts. Obviously, when there is such a wealth potential difference from the north to south, the people from north will migrate to the south in search of better and easier pastures. This is the fundamental cause of strife in Sri Lanka. This economic problem has been viewed and transformed as a racial problem, and the corrupt among the people took advantage of it. That is why Sri Lanka, the political establishment, is made up of criminals, drug dealers, and sometimes murderers. Murder is an outcome of problem that cannot be solved by other forms of criminal methods or negotiations. Mahinda Rajapaksa does not believe in second opinion. There's one opinion, that is his. Others are disposed by paramilitaries. People who complain about America, sit back and listen to this. In most countries, when the political career is over, the leaders go into oblivion. But in America, they continue to serve and shine. Why? Why only American leaders become world makers and ambassadors? Something to think about. Where are the leaders from Russia and China and others? Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton are at their advanced ages and are globetrotting to give service to humanity. Don't you think we have a better system for the world? Think about it. There are very many leaders among us. What is needed in the American system to bring the best to the top? When people are given equal opportunity to be the president of the United States of America, the best man gets to the top. That is what the American system is. People think America goes to war for oil. Not really. We want to help the world to freedom, so that innocent people are not treated like slaves and praised by the corrupt criminals and tyrants who live off their avail. It's a form of prostitution of the very people who are our brothers and sisters. In the name of superstition and power, we mistreat our own kind. We Tamils, 70 million strong, are endowed with the supreme faculty of humanness and to serve the world as its servants. At the present times, we are being abused and we are at the mercy of the mercenaries, but it will not last. We cannot change the course of Mother Nature. What has happened has to be accepted as it is, and we have to move on. But we must unite. 70 million of us. We must unite. We must stay together. We must work hard, and we must never ever give up. We are winning, and the best is yet to come. My name is Subramaniam Maslamani, a world-class Tamil, powered by convictions, commitments, and conscience.